A very good afternoon to you and welcome to today's edition of the Lunchtime News. I'm Nadim Majid. As always, we start off with a look at your headlines. Pudukkodiya and Maritime Pattu Pradeshiya Sabha elections suspended. Supplementary medical professionals continue strike action. Minister Champika Ranawaka says interference from opposition forces will not cease no matter what outcome emerges from Geneva. On to those stories in detail. The appeal court ordered today to temporarily suspend the Pudukkodiya and Maritime Pattu Pradeshiya Sabha elections, which were scheduled to be held on the 24th of this month. Now, the order was made after considering two petitions that were filed by voters in the two Pradeshiya Sabha divisions. The petitions state that demining and resettlement activities in the two respective areas have not been completed as yet. The petitioners requested that the elections be suspended until demining and resettlement activities are completed. The court ordered the suspension of the elections and notices were issued for the respondents to appear before court on the 27th of April. The Elections Commissioner and the returning officer have been named as respondents in this petition. In more local news, the strike action launched by supplementary medical service professionals is continuing today as well. The General Secretary of the Joint Council of Professions Supplementary to Medicine, Saman Jayasekara, said that the strike action is being carried out at 566 hospitals island-wide. He added that the employees of the Central Blood Bank and the Sri Mavo Bandaranayake Hospital in Peradeniya have joined in the strike action from this morning. The demonstrators claim that the solutions provided by the Ministry of Health to their grievances are not satisfactory. In other news, electrical engineers attached to the Ceylon Electricity Board have launched a Work to Rule campaign from noon today. Spokesperson of the Electrical Engineers Association, Ajit Pereira, said that this decision was taken as the authorities have failed to provide them with a solution to salary anomalies. Now, he further said that 700 employees attached to the association are engaged in the Work to Rule campaign. Pereira added that they have forwarded their proposals to the relevant authorities and the President. Still in local news, a lecture was organized by the National Expert Council in Mathura yesterday on the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission.
Now, what will happen on the 22nd? Irrespective of the United States wins or lose, the United States will implement its actions. If they lose, they will select their own course of action, owing to the shame the country has suffered. For instance, a course of action on Iran was selected without asking anyone. The United States has taken action on its own. The United States can follow a different course of action against our country. That is what would happen if we win the vote. If we lose the vote, then they would interfere into the internal problems of this country by using Navi Pillai of the United Nations. Therefore, from whatever angle one looks, even if we win or lose, the impact against us would remain.
United National Party Western Provincial Councillor Harshana Rajakarna says that Sri Lanka's relationship with the international community is deteriorating. He expressed this view at a function held in Dompe.
Held to welcome UMP Western Provincial Councillor Harshan Rajkarna, who was appointed as the organizer of the UMP Dompe electorate.
Then ජනතාව අතර ලොකු උද්‍යෝගයක් තියෙනවා පොඩි වෙනසක් ඇති කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි කියන. මොකද අපි කවුරුත් දන්නවා දැන්
The people are enthusiastic about creating a small change. We are aware that every action of the government has failed. The people do not obtain any benefits from the education, health, transportation or financial sectors. Internationally, no country is friendly with us. The relationships that we built with America, Europe and even South Asian countries are deteriorating day by day. Democratic National Alliance parliamentarian Arjuna Ranatunga says that victory could be achieved if the thievery in the field of sports is stopped. He made this statement during a sports festival held in Darga town, Beruwala.
An all-island 7-a-side football tournament was organised to commemorate the 32nd anniversary of the Golden Rise Sports Club in Darga town, Beruwala. The presentation ceremony for the tournament, in which 32 teams from across the island participated, was held yesterday under the auspices of parliamentarian Arjuna Ranatunga.
අපි දකිනවා මේ ක්‍රීඩාව හරහා මොනතරම් හොරකම් වෙනවද කියලා මේ රටේ මම හිතන්නේ
We can see how much thievery there is in sports in this country. I think recently this has been most visible in cricket. We saw thievery when selling tickets, when procuring equipment and when building stadiums. If the opposition, the government and local government work towards stopping these corrupt activities, it will not be difficult to pave the way for victory in sports for our children. An individual has died in Korolawalla Moratuwa in suspicious circumstances. The police said that the deceased is a resident of Korolawalla. The police said the deceased individual's corpse was discovered yesterday on a roadside in Korolawalla. The police said that information had come to light that the deceased had been assaulted by an unidentified person 2 days prior. The post-mortem examination was conducted this morning. The deceased is a 45-year-old male. In other local news, the Department of Census and Statistics states that 95% of their work ahead of the island-wide census was completed by yesterday. The director of the department, M.R. Gunasekara, said that today is the final day of the census.
Director of the Department of Census and Statistics, H.R. Gunasekara, noted that gathering data on homeless people will be carried out at midnight today. H.R. Gunasekara added that tomorrow and the day after have been allocated to identify flaws and make corrections on the data gathered. The Department of Census and Statistics said that if there are individuals who have not been counted in the census, then they should inform the nearest Gram Seva officer, the divisional secretariat or their head office in Colombo. They could do so by calling 0112 689595 or 0112 688383 or 0112 683737.
In sports news this afternoon, we start off with volleyball. The Koswadia Vijaya Sports Club won the women's title in the President's Gold Cup volleyball tournament, while the Siena Tharu Sports Club of Gampaha bagged the men's title.
The finals of the President's Gold Cup volleyball tournament was held at the public grounds in Netambua. The Vijay Sports Club were pitted against the Golden Bird Sports Club of Radhawana in the women's finals. The Vijay Sports Club secured a 3-0 victory to win the women's title for the third time. Meanwhile, the Siena Tharu Sports Club of Gampaha defeated the Rantharu Sports Club of Debagama 3-0 to win the men's title.
England cricketer Graham Swan says that since several Sri Lankan cricketers have displayed good form during the recent series in Australia, England will have to be at their level best during the upcoming Test series. Swan expressed this view to Sports First.
Well, we're confident as a team. We're #1 side in the world in Test cricket, and we're looking forward to playing the 2 Tests over here and hopefully winning the series. Obviously, there's a couple of world-class players who we need to get on top of. Obviously, Sangakkara and Jayawardene are 2 world-class batsmen. And there's a lot of their guys in good form as well from the series in Australia, Chandimal and people like that. So we're going to have to bowl well and we're going to have to play some good cricket to beat them.
Speaking to Sports First this morning, England cricket coach Andy Flower also expressed his views regarding the Sri Lankan team.
They're a very good side. We respect them greatly. And we know they're particularly strong in their own conditions. And they've got some very fine and talented cricketers. So we're looking forward to the challenge of taking them on in Sri Lanka.
England will take on Sri Lanka in 2 Test matches. The Galle International Stadium will host the first Test encounter on the 26th of this month, while the second Test will be played on the 3rd of April at the Pisara Oval. England's second warm-up match will commence tomorrow.
And on that note, we wrap up today's edition of the Lunchtime News. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with me. Do join us again at 1:55 for the facts and the figures on the latest headline-making news, as you can find only here on News First.